Down 6 at halftime, with an 0-3 deficit looming over their heads on the road, the Boston Celtics finally responded with some great championship-level basketball. Stars did their jobs, role players made key contributions, some of the strategies they deployed finally worked, and it all started with their play on the defensive end. All series long, Miami has absolutely torched Boston from the three-point line through the first 3 games, hitting about 48% of their 92 triples, while making more than 50% in 2 of those. Credit to the Heat for executing great offense to create these looks, but there were also some clear issues on the Celtics end, as they continuously missed rotations, didn't close out very hard, and many times just conceded those looks to role players in hopes that they could win the percentage game. Well, that all changed in the second half of Game 4. Miami shot just 3 of 16 from deep, 18.8%, and while some of that can be attributed to missing opportunities that they'd previously made, the degree of difficulty was noticeably higher, and that's because of how aggressive Boston was defensively. Jimmy attacks in isolation, and Smart slides over to take away the right-hand drive, but instead of conceding that corner 3 to Martin, closes out real hard to at least get a hand up. Here it is again. Butler has Horford on a switch and looks to go to work, but Derek White shows his body to help on a drive across the lane, before quickly recovering to the perimeter to force Martin into a real awkward jump shot. Their rotations away from the ball were on point. Miami clears the side of the floor for another Jimmy isolation, and Brown takes away the middle to force him under the basket where help is waiting. And as soon as that kick out to the corner is made, Tatum sells out completely to block a 3-point shot. These rotations and that aggression helped limit dribble penetration, taking away a lot of Miami's routine drive and kicks. In the pick and roll, White chases Vincent over the screen with Horford in a high drop to not give up that pull-up jumper, while Smart stunts at the nail to force him into a decision, rushing a shovel pass that results in a turnover. As Martin hands it off to Lowry, Rob Will jumps out at the ball, with Smart roaming way over to clog up that lane, and once the ball gets moved back to the wing, Rob sells out to not give up the 3, while Grant Williams immediately rotates up to not let him do anything off the dribble. This time Jimmy's got it at the top of the key and calls for a ball screen to get the switch onto Williams, but with Tatum in the middle, Smart stunting from the corner, and Horford on the block, he has no real angle to attack, falling back on a turnaround fade that Grant just takes straight out of his hands. Here's virtually the exact same play, except instead of calling for a screen, he decides to isolate against Brown, driving left where Williams slides up to meet him, forcing a much tougher hook shot spinning back towards the middle. It felt like every single time anyone on the Heat tried to create anything or attempted a shot in the half court, it was just heavily contested, and the numbers certainly back that up, marking a putrid 46% true shooting and 91.5 offensive rating, numbers that wouldn't even cut it back in the dead ball era. They also turned the ball over 9 times, a product of that added aggression. Vincent comes off a pin down, but instead of playing it straight up, Brown shoots the lane to steal the pass. 2 go to the ball for a brief moment, which gives Martin a slip to the basket, so Rob Will quickly slides down to take away the paint, while Tatum recovers by using his length to play in between the 2, and deflect a dump off. On this one, White has to chase Strus around 2 different screens, and does a great job of running him off the line, where Horford's back in that drop, and swipes down at the ball to erase a drive, which Brown quickly gathers for a push to the other end, putting his head down as he gets all the way to the rim for 2. And that's the key. Forcing all of these turnovers allowed them to turn defense into automatic offense going the other way, scoring 18 points off of turnovers in just the second half to Miami's 4. Rob comes out to the perimeter to take away a pull-up 3 off the screen, and once the ball gets moved to Bam, quickly slides over to help pressure his drive, stripping his handle into the hands of Smart, who pushes real hard to draw in the defense and leave Brown with an easy angle to the cup for a 3-point play. This one again starts with that high ball screen, but Horford's not at the level, so Duncan Robinson thinks he has a routine off the dribble 3, only for White to block it from behind, starting a fast break where the Celtics showcase some great ball movement to create a baseline dunk. It wasn't just off of turnovers that they were looking to push the pace though. Instead of chasing Martin, Brogdon hovers in the paint to show Lowry an extra body, while Smart stunts hard to make him pick up his dribble, forcing a real awkward finishing angle that Boston cleans up, immediately getting out in transition, where they're able to once again get all the way to the rim for free points. Here's another one after a missed shot. Tatum grabs the board and quickly hits Brown so that he can lead the break, taking a few dribbles and finding a streaking Smart on his way to the basket, who draws multiple defenders before kicking it back out to the perimeter, and just one more extra pass leaves Tatum with a great look from 3 off the catch. Even after a made basket, they inbound right away and move the ball up the floor as fast as possible, not letting the defense properly set and countering their scramble with multiple extra passes that lead to a wide open corner J. In the first 3 games, they shot 29% from 3 on 106 attempts, just egregiously bad. And sadly, that's sometimes how these smaller playoff samples go. Shooting can vary so much that it swings multiple games and potentially a series, especially with the volume of today's era. But that quickly turned around for them to close out this game, hitting 45% of their threes in the second half. And it's not just simply making the shots that they were once missing, but also the quality. Smart's able to get into the paint, drawing Kevin Love to the ball, which puts the defense into rotation, and leaves Derek White with a practice jumper. A ton of these looks were created by Jason Tatum, who did an incredible job of picking his spots as an attacker and leveraging the threat of his scoring into opportunities for the guys around him. Martin comes over to double, and Tatum waits for him to fully commit before moving the ball, so that he can't possibly recover in time to effectively close out on a shooter. I was really impressed with his patience, taking a couple extra dribbles after using a ball screen to force Martin into a decision, which leaves Grant Williams all alone at the top of the key. This time he isolates from the wing and gets the step on his man going at the middle, which draws the attention of Lowry, and just that one extra bounce of the ball before giving it up leaves Smart with all the space in the world, this one just rimming out. Tatum's decisiveness on the ball also helped him a ton as a scorer. Off the catch, he wastes no time taking advantage of a driving lane and avoids Jimmy Butler at the rim with some extended reach on the finger roll. The big thing is that he wasn't settling, instead using certain areas of his scoring to open up others, threatening the pullback triple multiple times before exploding on a drive, and comfortably getting to a little 7-foot floater. But this time as he looks to attack, his man backpedals to overplay the drive, so he counters with a sharp step back bomb. He was making reads like this in the pick and roll as well. Love plays the left side of the screen, so he goes right, and with nobody to meet him, comfortably steps into a pull-up jumper. On this one, Bam is right there to switch onto the ball, so he gets low to attack him as a slasher, using his shoulder to create some separation as he sets up a little one-legged midi. And his utilization of the mid-range game was pretty big, facing up for an isolation and again using his off shoulder to throw a little bump to his defender's chest for space on the jumper. Here's the exact same thing from the opposite corner. The shoulder bump sets up a one dribble step back J, and sometimes gravity's just on your side. His play in the mid-range was also how they were able to finally find a counter to Miami's zone defense, just floating to the free throw line for an easy entry and wasting no time as he rises up over the top. Here they're again in that zone, and Boston clears out a side of the floor for Tatum to isolate, drawing 2 to the ball as he plays out of the mid-post, while Smart makes an incredible cut to sneak right into the heart of the defense, catching and finishing down low with ease. Boston poured in an incredible 140.4 offensive rating to go along with that 91.5 mark on defense, giving them a 48.9 point differential in just these 24 minutes of basketball, thoroughly outplaying Miami on both ends of the floor as they finally looked like the team with great odds to win it all. But down 3-1, headed back to their home court, can they ride this momentum to extend the series once more? Or is it too late? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this game and what your predictions are for the rest of the series. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.